Hare Krishna. So I'm very happy to be part of this Viplav festival organized by Ministry of Education. And today's my topic for today's presentation is the educational model based on Pancakosha. So I serve in Bhaktivedanta Gurukul and International School in Vrindavan. That's run by ISKCON. So I'll present this presentation, the practical presentation based on what we're actually doing at the Vrindavan Gurukul. So I will begin with my experiences and how we're actually following it there. Right. So what is this Pancakosha model? So actually this is also being talked about in National Curriculum Framework for Education by Government of India. And this very, in our Indian knowledge system, in a traditional Indian knowledge system. So this very nice concept of personality development. So here there are 5 aspects of a personality. That means any person, a human being, has this 5 different koshas, or you can say 5 different layers of bodies. So for example, the first one, the grossest, the body that we can touch, feel, that's the external body. That's called the physical body or Annamaya Kosh. But subtler to that is Pranamaya Kosh, the energy body, that which is called Prana Shakti in our scriptures, that energy which actually gives energy to each and every cell in the body. And the moment the prana energy leaves the body, is dead. It's called prana energy. Subtler to that is Manomaya Kosh, or the mental energy, the mind, emotions. That's the third kosha. Even subtler to that is Vigyanmaya Kosh, the intellectual body. Actually, it's the vivek, the power to discriminate between right and wrong, right? And then the final thing is Anandamaya Kosh, the bliss body, and that is just next to the soul. That means the closest to the soul is Anandamaya Kosh, where one experiences bliss or a connection with the soul, contented state of bliss, Anandamaya. Then Vigyanmaya, after that Manomaya, then Pranamaya, and finally the grossest, which is Annamaya. So now, this you may say, wow, did Srila Prabhupada mention about this? Yes, he does mention. In Bhagavad Gita 13.5 purport, Srila Prabhupada says this. He quotes from Tattiriya Upanishad, Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. So he talks about Annamaya Kosh, which is dependent on food. That means the grossest part of the physical existence. Then the Pranamaya, which is the life force, the life pran. Third is Jnanamaya, that is, thinking, feeling, willing, emotional stage. Then comes Vijnanamaya, and then Anandamaya, right? So now connecting this with education, right? So what do we do specifically at our Bhaktivedanta Gurukul and International School in Vrindavan? So let's see. So Annamaya Kosh is physical development. So what do we do in that? Of course, we give very nice prasadam, nutritious, hygienic prasadam, a lot of sports for young boys, teamwork, they run to play in teams, football, running, kabaddi, a lot of time for physical exercise every day. So this is something really missing in today's society, because students today are so much addicted to these gadgets. They play online games, virtual games, no physical development. It's very important at the young age. They must have physical activity, sports, very, very important. And good diet, nutritious diet, not the junk food that today's young boys need to have. No, it's because Annamaya Kosh develops at the younger stage. It's also linked with immunity. So if you have a good, strong Annamaya Kosh, so then you will have strong immunity, and that's very important. Physical fitness. good health. These days, young boys, they fall sick because when they were young, Annamaya Kosh development was not focused upon. Therefore, very important part of education and raising children is to make sure that they have a very strong physical body as well. Annamaya Kosh. That's the first thing. Second, let's come to Pranamaya. That's the vital energy development Kosh. You must have read in Bhagavad Gita and other purports. Prabhupada sometimes talk about 5 kinds of prana, vayu, prana, pan, saman, others, or sometimes 10 different vayus, or prana vayus are 10 different airs which are in our body. So basically, the Yoga Patanjali Sutra talks about that the thousands of nadis or some special channels through which this prana energy flows in our body. I'm sure you must have also heard of the chakras. So this is a gross body, but behind this, there's another network of, a full network in the body where this prana energy flows throughout the body. Each and every cell of the body, this prana energy is required. The moment the prana energy is gone, the person is dead. So now we need to strengthen this kosha of ours, this layer of ours. How do we do it? We do it by pranayam. Very important. So our boys, every day in the morning, they do pranayam. Then music, rhythm-based activities, very important. Nature walk, gardening. We have a beautiful campus. So the boys go for nature walks. They learn music, right? So these are the things which help us to nourish this prana body that we have, or pranamaya kosh. It increases the willpower, ichha shakti. So and fasting, yes. Fasting is very important. They said when you fast, the pranamaya body becomes stronger. Annamaya body becomes stronger by eating. But pranamaya energy, willpower, ichha shakti. Like Dhruv Maharaj, the small boy, his prana shakti, prana kosh was so strong, he could fast, such a severe fasting. 1 month, only some fruits once in 3 days. Second month, some water in 6 days. Some dry grass in 6 days. Third month, some water in 9 days. And fourth month, just air. And then fifth month, he even stopped breathing air. This is what is called strong pranamaya kosh, right? Then comes the third kosh, which is manomaya kosh, or is called mental and emotional development. Very important. You see, one of the reasons why adults in today's age, they're very weak in relationships, always in stress, anxiety, is because during the school education, the emphasis is given on marks, getting numbers in exam, solving maths questions. But this focus on how to relate with others, how to be sensitive, how to have good friendship, these things are not taught. But we really focus on these things in our Gurukul system of education. We have games where students learn how to cooperate. We tell them stories from Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Ramayana. They hear stories about courage, respect, empathy. They hear how the 4 brothers, Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrughan, had such a loving relationship. They were fighting not to grab the throne, but rather they were fighting. Bharat was saying, you become the king. Ram is saying, you become the king. This is what the stories of Ramayana teach us. How to be selfless, how to be respectful, how to be caring for parents, for friends. Is all very, very important part of education for the development of our Manomaya Kosh. Otherwise, what happens when the children become adults and they're not training on this area? What is happening in today's world, All the time we hear about breaking family, families breaking apart, divorces, no respect for parents. All that is because this aspect is not touched upon in the so-called schools of today. And we focus on art, music. These are the ways, you learn to express yourself. Writing diary, journaling. Otherwise, children don't even know how to express their emotions, feelings. Very, very important. So this Manomay Kosh is a very, very important kosh in our body, and it must be strong. These days we have terms like emotional quotient, etc. In nothing but this Manomay Kosh. And this has to be strong. Otherwise, little bit of distress, anxiety, and people go into depression, or they take drastic steps as suicide, or they become drug addicts. Why? Because their Manomo Kosh is very weak. The body may be very strong, but emotionally they're so weak that little bit sorrow, difficulty in life, they succumb to it. So this is what so far we have covered: Annamay Kosh, Pranamay Kosh, and Manomay Kosh. So important. So sad that today most of the schools and colleges, especially schools we're talking about here, just focus on getting marks and some knowledge transfer. That's education. And that's a small, small part. But real education is how to have a physically fit body, how to have strong willpower, strong energy levels, how to be strong emotionally, how to have good relationship with others. These are the training that must also be imparted in schools, which is very much lacking today. Therefore, we are discussing some of these aspects today in our discussion. The fourth one, if you remember, is Vigyan May Kosh, or intellectual development. Of course, this is also a broad area where we are taught critical thinking, ethical reasoning, and higher order learning. So, of course, you can say that high level maths and science is part of Vigyan May Kosh, but very important aspect of this is the ethical reasoning part. How to discriminate between what is right and wrong, taking decisions based on ethical principles. Just like today, when these students, they start their own businesses, they'll become adults. When they grow up, if they don't have proper Vigyanmaya Kosh, they will not think about environment. Before taking decision, they will not think that this decision of mine, what is the impact on environment, how is it going to affect the society. All they will think is whether it's earning profit for me or not. That's not proper Vigyanmaya Kosh. No. Proper Vigyanmaya Kosh development means you think about environment, you think about nature, you think about society, and you analyze what my action is going to, how it's going to affect all these things. That is how this critical thinking, ethical reasoning comes into picture. So how do we make it strong? We need Bhagavad Gita for this. We need students to discuss, so we can have some group discussions, debates, where they discuss about these topics. What is right, what is wrong. So these are some of the things, that the activities that can be done to strengthen this Vigyanmaya Kosh. And of course, problem solving, task, puzzles, these all can also be done to improve the analytical skills. But while most schools, they may a little bit focus on analytical skills, but very few, they focus on ethical reasoning part. There's a lot of talk these days about ethical leadership. In IIMs also, they've introduced ethical leadership concepts, courses on ethical leadership. Now, that can be very much taught during the school days to the children. Of course, at a little higher age, by bringing in Bhagavad Gita, by having healthy group discussions, they can also develop this intellectual kosha, Vigyanmaya kosha. And the final one is Anandamaya kosha, or spiritual development. Because at the end of the day, we are all spirit souls. And the purpose of education is to connect ourselves with the divine, with Krishna. If that is not there, the entire education like a big zero. So Anandmay Kosh, good Annamay Kosh, good Pranamay Kosh, like zeros. 1 0, 2 0, 3 0, 4 zeros. But if there is no one, the whole thing is a big zero. So unless we have a connection with Krishna, the absolute truth, then all other koshas, they don't have much value. Therefore, it is very important to have spiritual connect with God. And this will bring us inner joy. This will help us to develop good qualities like gratitude, love, compassion. Now, these things come only when we somehow, through our activities, we get in touch with the divine. So, how do we do it? We can do meditation, like our students do mantra meditation, chanting, singing Hare Krishna Kirtan, doing community services like Go Seva, gardening, temple cleaning. So, when you do selfless service, there are two kinds of mentality. One is called bhoga mentality. You want to enjoy, you want to exploit. The second is seva bhav, the mood of service. So, essentially, what we do here is we promote seva bhav. Let the students develop this attitude of serving others, not all the time me focused. What am I getting? How am I becoming happy? This is where the modern education has failed, because we have taught children to be more and more self-centric. How can I get good marks? How can I get good jobs? How can I get good prizes? So it's me, me, me. No, that's not education. Real education means you should taught children to be selfless. You think that what can I do? What can I give to the society? It's not always about taking. Even when we breathe, can you just keep on breathing in? No, impossible. You have to breathe out. Then breathe in. Then breathe out. So this art of giving, that's very important. This is what we teach. These qualities of being selfless, doing some community service. So then when they grow up, when they earn money, they will think that let me not enjoy all the money myself. I must give it back to the society. Do something good for the society. So that training is very, very important part of education. So these are the 5 very important aspects of education. And the education must cater to the development of all these 5 koshas. Otherwise, it's not complete. And of course, different age, we focus on different koshas. Like in the young age, like early childhood, or what you can say is Kumar Avastha. The focus is more on physical activities, how he can become more healthy. Some basic yoga they can do, some storytelling, simple stories. But as they become little grown up, maybe age of 7 to 12, then we have to introduce structured physical education, proper exercises, proper yoga asanas, simple pranayam, and then some group activities for emotional social learning. Age appropriate ethical lessons can be given. And when they further grow up, like adolescents, age of 13 to 18, then we need to give them intellectual challenges. We need to give them deeper meditational techniques like Trataka. We have started this in Gurukul also, just focusing on light, Tratak meditation, or doing, Om, like pranayam, chanting very seriously, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra itself. So at this age, we can teach the children how to chant with concentration, with focus, the Mahamantra. Self-reflective activities. We ask them to reflect and write notes, writing, and discussions Because at this age, the student should speak up. It's not just bombarding them with information. Give them a chance to speak out. That's very important at this age. And how to connect with real life applications. It's a very, very challenging year, this adolescent age. And if we need to handle them carefully at that age, and at that age specifically, the Vigyanmay course needs to be strengthened. So this is what I just discussed about the 5 koshas. We are actually through various activities in our Bhaktivedanta Gurukul, we are actually implementing in our curriculum different activities so that their 5 koshas can become strong. And ultimately, for a successful human being, even materially speaking, we need a balanced development of all these 5 koshas. Ultimately, whom do we say successful man? A person who is healthy, a person who is enthusiastic, energetic, a person who is sensible, who is emotionally stable, a person who has good ethics, good decision-making capabilities, and a person who is content and happy in life and with compassionate heart. Yes or no? This is all we want, right? Who is a great leader? A person who is having compassion, compassionate heart, who is good in taking decisions, who is emotionally stable, who is full of energy, and is physically strong. Look at the Prime Minister himself, Mr. Narendra Modi ji. We can see all these 5 Panchakoshas fully developed in him. And that is how you get a true leader. And this is what is the purpose of education, to cultivate such selfless leaders, which a society needs today very badly. And that can happen when we look at all these 5 aspects of personality development, right? Not simply marks. No, that's not education. We need to look at all these 5 areas. Just to summarize, what are the 5 koshas? Annamay kosh is the gross body level. Then subtly to that is Pranamay kosh, the energy. Then subtly to that is Manomay kosh, the emotional state that we have. Then we have Vigyanmay kosh, or the power of discrimination or the intellectual development. And the last, but the most important, is also spiritual development, which is known as Anandamay kosh. So my dear friends, complete education means you need to have all these 5. Physical development, we need to have, in terms of energy, enthusiasm, energetic, Pranamay kosh. Then third, we need to have good emotional development in the child. That's Manomay kosh. Then we need to have intellectual development. That's Vigyanmay kosh. And finally, spiritual development, which is Anandamay kosh. And actually, Prabhupada himself talks about this in 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It's a very, very important concept. The national curriculum framework designed by Indian government as part of the national education policy also talks about this. So I think it's time that schools in ISKCON or devotees who are into the field of education in ISKCON, they should know this concept so that you can also do this complete holistic development of a child based on this Pancakosha model. So once again, I thank the organizers for this Viplav festival, and I hope that you must have learned something out of this presentation. So wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Education for children is very important in ISKCON. We need to focus on that, but please make sure that you understand this Pancakosha model and implement this for educating or training the children. You may be a parent, you may be a teacher, but if you're dealing with a child, you must understand these 5 koshas. So thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.